Don't worry about it, Evie. I was just taking care of some business. Alright, where were we? Ah, yeah, right. Welcome back, everyone, to my series of Resident Evil videos. Unless you decide to skip part 1 and jump straight to here, in which case, I'm sorry you don't know how to watch things in order, I guess. Anyways, yes, we are continuing our look at Resident Evil games. This time, we're looking at the series' awkward years as it jumped off of the PlayStation and onto the next generation. I have a lot of thoughts on these two games, so let's get started. Like I said in the last video, at the same time Nemesis was being made, around 4 other Resident Evil games were being made as well. One of which was a mainline game being made exclusively for the Dreamcast. But due to some odd contract or something, they didn't number this one and instead just gave it a subtitle. But it isn't a spin-off, it is a main series game. Jeez, this series is starting to sound like Kingdom Hearts. Are you crazy? You just made another joke about Kingdom Hearts? Sorry, I was just... Well, don't. Fine. Anyways, that game was... Resident Evil Code Veronica was released in 2000 as a Sega Dreamcast exclusive. A year later, it came out on the PS2 as an enhanced port called Code Veronica X because the Dreamcast was basically a zombie itself at that point. Too soon. It died before you were born. Get over it! Anyways, it was also later ported to the GameCube and given an HD remaster for PS3 and 360. Yeah, no PC release this time, and the only versions you can get on modern consoles is the digital PS2 copy on PS4 or the 360 version on Xbox One. It's like Capcom doesn't want people to play it, it's weird. And yeah, that is a Japanese copy. Why did I get a Japanese copy? Well, I'll explain why in a bit. Code Veronica has a pretty complex plot, honestly, but here's the basics. In December 1998, Claire Redfield has infiltrated the Umbrella HQ in Europe in an attempt to find her brother Chris. She does such a great job that she gets captured and sent to Umbrella's own island prison. I wish I could say that a private company owning their own private prison where they can keep anybody whenever they want is the least believable thing in this game, but I cannot. And now I'm sad. While Claire is in the prison, called Rockford Island, a zombie outbreak randomly takes place on it, and her jailer lets her out since they're all dead anyways. Claire soon comes across the worst thing Capcom has ever done, Steve Burnside.
What about canceling Mega Man Legends 3?
I stand by what I said. Anyways, Claire and Steve unfortunately decide to team up to escape Rockford Island. And that's basically all I'll say about the game's story, because I don't want to spoil too much, but holy crap, this story kinda sucks. Don't get me wrong, it works on paper. You go to new environments like Antarctica, catch up with characters like Chris and Wesker, yeah, he somehow survived, and seemingly deliver a fatal blow to Umbrella, and yet, its execution is just so lacking in my opinion. A lot of it is probably due to writing and direction. For example, at one point they come across Alfred and Alexia Ashford, higher-up members of Umbrella, and the ones running the island. Except, Alexia doesn't exist. Turns out Alfred, driven insane by grief and despair, had created a split personality of his long-lost twin sister and didn't realize it. It's honestly a really interesting twist, and allows Claire to realize that even villains can deal with psychological issues that can harm them as they...
Alfred! You cross-dressing freak!
Or Claire can just say that. Ugh. See, it undermines any deeper meaning they might have intended. And then there's the voice acting. Holy cow, that voice acting.
Oh, how your brother will weep to see you die.
It is almost time, you genetically inferior siblings.
Oh yeah, that felt good.
My apologies, but I cannot let you escape now.
Wait a second. What just happened?
I have no idea. This is just competent enough not to be so bad it's good, leaving it just absolutely awful. And it just gets worse from here. Gameplay-wise, Code Veronica is basically the same as before, but with a couple of tweaks. The quick turn from 3 is back, but the dodge mechanic is gone. The camera is still fixed, but at times it moves cinematically. Certain weapons come in twos, allowing you to fire in 2 directions at once, and the whole game is in real-time 3D as opposed to being pre-rendered. All things add to the experience for sure, which is why it's a shame that this game sucks! I'm sorry, I know this game is a fan favorite for many, but its design is just bad. Items you need to pick up often blend into the environments, forcing you to walk around hitting the button constantly just in case. The layout of Rockford Island is infuriating in the way it requires backtracking. Yes, all games before this had backtracking to some degree, but this has 3 separate areas spread apart that all look pretty similar that you have to return to multiple times. Sometimes even more. Some doors are hidden in shadows or blend into the environment, meaning you could be wandering to each area not sure where the next thing you need is. I was following a guide and I still constantly got lost. Oh, and a lot of areas have respawning zombies. Like, literally, kill the zombies, step out, come right back in, and the zombies are back! Who thought that was a good idea? And the difficulty. Oh man, the difficulty. This game is difficult for all the wrong reasons. It's unfair, particularly with the bosses. Don't get me wrong, I understand that survival horror games are supposed to be somewhat difficult. Limited ammo, limited storage space, limited saves. All are staples of the series so far, and I haven't really had any issues with them. They make things harder, but they're still fair. Code Veronica isn't fair. Take a look at this boss. What you have to do is just run back to the door without getting killed. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, no. See, you can't avoid his attacks. Even if you immediately quick turn and run straight and fast, he will hit you 2 times before you reach the door. Problem is, he kills you in 2 hits. If you do a perfect run here, you still need to heal yourself at least once. That's bullcrap. That's not a fair challenge. That's not survival horror difficulty. That's unfair difficulty, done probably due to bad design. And the game is filled with moments like that. At one point, if I hadn't made a second save on accident, I would have locked myself in a no-win scenario. That never happened at any other point in the series. So originally I was just going to leave it there. Code Veronica is terrible and I never want to play it again, which is true. But then something happened. So remember how I owned the Japanese Dreamcast version of the game? Yeah, the reason I do is because I was doing research on the game, and I found out that the Japanese version has an easy mode. See, everywhere else in the world, we only got one difficulty option, but the Japanese copy has an easy mode? That definitely piqued my interest. So since I needed to get a physical copy for the video anyways, I decided I'll take a chance and I imported the Japanese version. And man, was this night and day. First off, there's not just an easy difficulty, but a very easy difficulty with an infinite ink ribbon and an infinite rocket launcher from the start. Plus, the Dreamcast version's graphics were better suited for the game than the X version on the PS2. Things were clearer and easier to make out, making things blend into the environment a lot less. Yeah, the backtracking was still a problem, but since I already knew where to go and I had my infinite rocket launcher, plus a crap ton more health, I actually started enjoying myself. It still got issues, but it was a lot more fun. So sadly, no, I don't think Code Veronica is a good game, but it does have potential in the story. If we could get a remake with the same love and attention the other remakes got, we could have something great in our hands. As it is now, though, honestly, I don't recommend playing the game. If you want to play the game, though, I'd say import the Dreamcast version. All the dialogue is in English, and the menus aren't too hard to figure out, but only if you're obsessive-compulsive like me and need to play each game. Well, we have one last game in the classic format, and it's a prequel set right before the first game. This game was originally being developed for the N64, but unfortunately for me, it got cancelled. However, it did eventually get remade from the ground up, and eventually we did get
Resident Evil 0.
Released for the GameCube in 2002, Zero was later ported to the Wii, and then given an HD facelift and put on, well, everything. PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC. Yeah, if you want to find it, you can. So about that story. Set literally like a day before the original game, Resident Evil 0 stars Rebecca Chambers as she makes her way from the woods to the mansion from the first game. Okay, that's a bit abridged, but for the plot of the series as a whole, that's really all that this is doing. You do see who really made the T-Virus, I think, and Rebecca does uncover some of the secrets of Umbrella that she conveniently forgets about the next day, but there honestly isn't much here to talk about story-wise. The biggest difference is with gameplay. Rebecca teams up with Billy Cohen, a prisoner that was falsely arrested for committing war crimes and escaped when the zombie dogs attacked the guards during the prison transfer.
What did I just say? What? Okay. Oh, yeah. Hi, Tyler from Editing Room here. What did I just say? Okay. Full disclosure. I was gonna say this at the very end, but yeah. I had like a really bad ear infection. I was in a lot of pain this last week. As such, I was taking a lot of like painkillers and stuff. And I was kind of loopy and out of it, including when I was filming this, and which is one of the main reasons why my delivery and stuff is very weird. But what did I even just say here?
That's literally all the story he has, honestly. But anyways, Billy stays with Rebecca basically throughout the entire game, and you can swap between the two fairly freely. Because of the added firepower with two characters, there are no more magic item boxes. Instead, you have to manage inventory between each other and keep some items on the ground. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't a great system, and it can be pretty aggravating. So why do I love it? Don't get me wrong here, I totally understand and agree with people's complaints about it, but I don't know, I kind of love it. It's hard, yes, but it's a fair kind of hard. It's making me think and approach everything differently than I normally would in the other games. And as such, it feels very fresh and unique. Things like the hookshot are a bit too annoying in my opinion, but there's only a few things like that, so it doesn't really sour the experience for me. Honestly, I went in dreading this game because I heard it was bad. I didn't even expect to finish it, but not only did I finish it in a single weekend, but I found that I loved it. The train was a really cool setting. The gameplay is unique and a fun challenge. There's callbacks, or is it foreshadowing, to the first two games. Look, there's even a little bit of an area from Resident Evil 2. And yet, why have I felt no desire to play this game again? I didn't play it again until I decided to make these videos. Why is that? It's because there's no real substance here. Yes, it was a fun challenge the first time, but once you know the solution, the puzzle just isn't as fun. And the callbacks to RE1 and 2 made sense when this was an N64 game, and they thought neither game would make it onto the system, but by the time the game did come out, not only was RE2 ported to the N64 and the GameCube, along with RE3.
This video is terrible. Third video, and I've already taken my career.
But a full remake of the original game was released on GameCube as well. There, frankly, wasn't a purpose for this game's existence anymore, outside of the unique mechanics that really were only fun the first time. Yes, I still love the train setting.
I like trains.
But there's honestly nothing I really like or want to play after that. So it's a game that I do think is worth playing, but not necessarily one that you have to play. Now, if you do want to play it though, I say get one of the HD versions. I have the Switch version here, but as you saw through the gameplay, I was playing the PS4 version. Basically, any of the more modern versions you can find nowadays. You're going to have all the unlockable content they had in all the previous releases, plus some extras, and the Wesker mode, where you get to play as Albert Wesker instead of Billy Cohen, and Rebecca follows you around in a mind-controlled state. It's honestly a lot of fun. It's the greatest thing ever, honestly. And that's the two main series games Capcom released between the 3rd and 4th numbered entries. One is super important story-wise, but not a lot of fun to play. The other is a lot of fun to play, but not super important story-wise. Funny how those things turn out. Still, both were very important stepping stones on the road to Resident Evil 4. That's right, next video is the big one. One everyone's been waiting for, where I finally talk about Resident Evil 4. And maybe 5 and 6 if I find the time in the video. I have a lot to talk about with 4.
Why would you even try to do multiple games in one video?
Because I wanted to make sure everybody understands what the series is truly like. And
couldn't they just watch the movies instead?
I'll see you guys in the next video.
Where are you going?
Pest control!
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you were able to tolerate it. Like I said, halfway through, it was a very weird week for me. I don't even remember recording that. It was some weird stuff, man. Oh man, okay. Regardless, I'm better now, for the most part. So, as good as I'm ever am, right? So, anyways, things should be better. Right now, I'm recording this still on Friday night or Thursday night. I don't even have everything done yet. Like, this was supposed to be an easy episode for me, but I still gotta finish just getting the footage of Code Veronica off. I got all the Zero stuff. I got everything done except for the actual game footage of Code Veronica. I gotta stick that in. Finishing that up, then throwing this in. Alright, anyways, I promise you, next episode will be better. The Resident Evil 4 one, that's probably where everybody's going to start anyway, so whatever. But hey, thanks everybody who did watch this one and tolerated my insanity, or whatever it is. I don't know. I was really out of it. Anyways, I will catch you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't unsubscribe. I don't know. Give to charity. Do whatever. I don't know. Regardless, be excellent to each other.